welcome to the Good Work Show. It's another Saturday. We've got a great show for you. We've got our Good Work Show shirts on.
We do.
Again.
For a variety of reasons. This is a show this is kind of like the point of privilege show. Because the people that
I guess so. I was getting ready, like, where are you going with this? But I got it.
Yeah, because these are organizations that both of us are personally involved in.
That's right.
And so, yeah, when you host the show, every once in a while, you get to call your friends and say, come do the show.
That's right. I thought you were going to say because of the award thing.
Oh, and then we won an award. No, but that's not even where I was going with that. I was just saying, point of privilege. We control that. So
that's true.
We usually don't do that, but every once in a while, it works out that way.
Yep. So, so if you follow the Good Work Show on social media, you probably see photos or video, probably not so much video, but photos in general of some behind the scenes things that we do on the Good Work Show to put things together. But then also when Trinice and I are out in the community doing things. And so you may have seen some photos when we've interacted with some of these organizations, particularly the two that will be on the show today. So if you are familiar with them, then you will be right at home. So we've got my good friend, and I like to call her my sister, even though we don't have the same parents.
This is the second fake family member guest we've had.
Who was
for you? John. Like your fake dad.
Oh, but that was like a long time. We should bring him on.
We should
bring him on. He's retired now. You have nothing.
Elaine just collects people and makes them which is really lovely.
I think they collected me. Well, John collected me, which I'm thankful for. But anyway, This is all about Dawn Wells, and I call her my sis. So if you hear me say sis, that's just why. We're just really close friends. She is the founder and executive director of Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition. And, I happen to sit on the board of that organization, but I would not be connected if I did not think that organization was not only needed, but it is doing great work. And so I'm not going to steal any of Dawn's thunder about telling you about it, but it is serving a community of people who are really in need of turning their lives around when it comes to their health, because there's nobody else really serving them in this way. So I'm excited to have her on the show. She'll talk to us about what's going on with Angel Eyes, and then we'll tell you how to get involved and learn a little bit more about the organization.
Yeah, then we're going to hear from Mike Schum. He is the president-elect of the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals. Mm-hmm. So, I guess we can say it now. We got an award.
Woo!
We're so excited.
I know. We'll bring it out later.
When we talk to him. But I have been involved with the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals. Got that all out. For a little while, and you probably, if you do follow us on social media, you've seen some stuff and some things that we participated in. But it's an organization, it's a subsidiary of the larger National Urban League. They talk about some of the different issues that the organization itself is trying to overcome. And then Mike is going to be here a little bit later to talk about how that translates to the work that's happening here in Atlanta. So exciting to have some folks that we're familiar with on the show and some organizations that are a little near and dear to our hearts. Great show. Excited. Yeah.
And the award now, we didn't want to put it up now because that would be a little bit
weird.
Yeah. So,
they're kind of
bragging.
It's not weird.
A lot of shows do have their awards out, in the background, but we didn't want to brag too much. So we'll just bring it out during his segment, then we'll put it right back.
But I'm excited that, the work, we are proud of what we do here on the Good Work Show. We bringing these types of organizations to the community, letting folks know the work they're doing. So all jokes aside, we have a very good time here. Obviously.
We hope you do too.
Obviously. But we do believe and understand the importance of what we do as well, and bringing these organizations, providing them with a platform to share the information about the work they're doing. And so many organizations are doing such good work here in our community. So we are very appreciative of the recognition for that work, and hope that you guys appreciate as well what we're doing.
Yeah, that's right. So if you have folks that you want to be on the show, and that's kind of part of the reason why we won the award, is really giving voice to other nonprofits. In fact, there's been about 300 or so who have been on the show since the Good Work Show has been in existence. And but if you know of organizations that should be on the show, please tell us. You can email us at goodworks@ging.org, or you can follow us on any of the social media platforms and send us a message there, and we will pick it up, and we will definitely highlight them on the show. That's how we get a lot of the guests, and we want to continue doing that because we want to hear from you, the community. You're engaging with these organizations, just like we said, we are engaging with the ones that we're featuring today, but we don't, we're not involved with every organization and every nonprofit in Atlanta, but I know that some of you are. Maybe you volunteer. Maybe you are a person on staff. Maybe you're a member of their board. Maybe you just know because they just do great things. Maybe you've heard of them and you're not even really sure what they do, but you think, oh, well, that'd be great to learn. And maybe I'll recommend them to the Good Work Show. Please do. We always need guests. We're here every week. And so we'd love to highlight organizations who don't always get the feature and shine. I think that, we appreciate, the larger nonprofits. We work for a larger nonprofit that gets its fair share of time in the media spotlight. But there are so many others who are working day in and day out that may not have the opportunity to have a platform like this, like Trini said, to share about their mission. And people don't really know. And so it gives you an opportunity to support those organizations and learn a little bit more. And if nothing else, tell the story to someone else. I think that that's so discounted in the fact that maybe you don't have time to volunteer, maybe you don't have the finances to make a donation, or you're not able to get to the nonprofit to give of your time, talent, or treasure. What else can you do? Tell somebody else about the organization. That's usually a great way, because you never know who you might be speaking to, who might need the services, or be able to support the organization and say, wow, actually what you told me is really great. I'd love to fund that. And so do that, if you will. And we just look forward to having these guests on the show and continue to bring you great content for local nonprofits.
Yeah. So now every once in a while we have breaking news on the Good Work Show. This is not one of those times. It's just news, because I think we've already let the cat out of the bag on this. But this week we have a new store opening. So we always like to make sure that we let our listeners know when Goodwill of North Georgia is opening a new location, because it's exciting. And we think that everybody should come because it's fun. And you find really great stuff. I mean, it's just the deal. So this coming Thursday, the 27th, we are opening our 64th store, 64th store, up near Mall of Georgia in Beaufort. And hold on, forgive me looking down. I want to make sure I give you the correct address so I don't have sending folks
to the wrong
place.
It's at the Mall of Georgia. It's the only Goodwill store that's in that area.
Yeah, so it's 3840 Financial Way. Yeah, 3840 Financial Way. So come visit us. So this is yet another reminder. There's a prize pack for the people that come and say you heard about the show on the air and you want to come say hi to the host of the Good Work Show.
It's a free prize pack.
It's a free prize. All you have to do is
maybe that's the reason why we haven't given it away. We didn't tell people it was free. It's free. You don't even have to enter, do a drawing or anything. It's literally just free to the first person.
And now you guys, it actually is a little bit easier now, because before we were saying this that we didn't have the video component. So you're like, I might show up and I don't know who those people. Hello.
Yeah. Just look for one of us.
Look for either one of
us.
us.
We'll both be there.
Yeah. So come look for us. Say, hey, I heard about the great opening on the show. Where's my prize pack?
Right.
So that's all it takes. Yeah. So we hope to see somebody.
We'll see a lot of people, but somebody who's been a listener to the show, because there'll be a lot of people there, and that is one thing that we should tell you. So if you're like, oh, I didn't know Goodwill was opening a store and I want to go, well, that's great. It opens at 9:00, but I will tell you, if you come at 9, it's too late. So you have to come a few hours early. If you want to be one of the first people in. Now, you can come at 9 when the doors are open, but it is literally like a Black Friday sale where people are lined up hours ahead of time. In some cases, they camp out overnight. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if they'll camp out for this one, but who knows? Maybe.
Somebody will. I can think of one person who will.
They'll camp out. Yeah, he probably will. So, but they are wanting to be the first persons in line to get all of the good stuff. So you want to come early. And so it's our Mall of Georgia store opens at 9 a.m. on the 27th. So definitely be there early. But then you'll also get a chance to see us. And we don't spend the entire day.
Well, that's the other reason to come early.
You got to come early.
Because we won't be there after. And with us goes the prize pack. So
that's true.
You got to come when you're there.
You got to come early. But, the early bird, I guess,
gets the
prize pack. That's right. So come early. We want you to celebrate with us. It's a good time to celebrate the 64th store, Goodwill of North Georgia, but it also will help us. Every time we open a store, we give an opportunity for about 40 to 50 people to have a job where those jobs didn't exist before. So not only is it an opportunity for economic development to get a new business, of course, there's sales tax that comes along with that. So we're helping the community in that way. We're giving people an opportunity to work at Goodwill. Mm-hmm. But then also it's another opportunity to help fund our mission at Goodwill, which is to put people to work. And so every time we open a store, it gives us more opportunities to put more money into the budget to support our job training programs and employment services, which we offer to more than 50,000 people every single year. And we're helping 24,500 of those individuals this year go to work. And I think we've already passed that goal. Yeah. So technically we have about 7 more days before our fiscal year ends on June 30th. And we passed our goal a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure where we'll end up, what the final true number will be, but I think it's going to be close to about 25,000. That's what I think. So we'll 25,000 individuals who got a job thanks to you, our shoppers, our donors, and of course those supporters of Goodwill. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
You're listening to The Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @GoodWorkShow.
Audience, welcome back to The Good Work Show. We are excited to have a guest on the line with us who's one of my favorite people.
Other than me, right?
Well, yes. Yes, one of my favorite people. I like to call her sis, but she's not my blood sis, but that's okay. She's my sister in a lot of different ways. I'd like to introduce you all to Dawn Wells, who is the founder and executive director for Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition. Welcome to the show, sis.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am fabulous.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So way back when we had Angel Eyes on the show, but we're here at our new home and our new station, and we need to introduce you to everybody again. So we got to talk about Angel Eyes and Angel Eyes. What is it, and what's the mission of Angel Eyes?
Sure. So Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition is an organization that I founded that provides group fitness for the blind and visually impaired. And our mission is to empower and equip the blind with the necessary resources they need to have an active and healthy life.
That's awesome. And if anybody who has taken a class with Dawn, and I've survived one, she's going to do that for you. So we can talk a little bit about that later. But I want to know, Dawn, from you, what led you to start this organization? Because I've never heard, even, however long ago we talked to you, might have been about a year now. Mm-hmm. I still have never heard or seen another organization doing what you're doing. So talk to us a little bit about why you're doing it and why it was so necessary to fill that space.
Thank you. I'd be happy to. So why I'm doing it is because there's a need, right? And I'm a firm believer in when there's a need that can be met, that you can actually take part in, that you should. How I fell into it is a whole different story. But once I started, I realized it was supposed to be just a one-time thing. But I realized from that there really is a need. And just like you said, there are really no group fitness programs or group fitness facilities that can accommodate the blind and visually impaired in a safe and effective environment. So that's my why. And if you ever attend the class, you'll more than understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dawn, tell us about the classes that you offer through Angel Eyes, because I mean, people might think, oh, well, it's probably just yoga or something, kind of low key, but no, you really turn it up and you give everybody a good workout, because that's what they're there for, right? They're there to work out and get fit. And so, tell us about some of the things that you're offering.
So we, in addition, we do also offer nutritional counseling. I want to make sure I make mention of that, because it's really important for the nutrition to first be addressed. But in our fitness classes, we have 10 different programs that range from belly dance to boot camps to, we do have a yoga, it's called Flex and Stretch, to boxing, where they're actually putting on those gloves and they're boxing to help with the core and balance. And so, I won't go through all the classes. They're definitely located at the website, but they're not the kind where you just sit in a chair and tap your toes. We are getting it in.
Do you remember that,
weights
though?
And bands.
The sit and get fit lady.
Yeah, how did that work out for her? Like,
I'm not her.
Okay.
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all.
No. Yeah, so that's what we do. It's a lot of fun, but it's safe and effective. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes.
Cool. So talk to us, Dawn, a little bit about the misconceptions that people may have about folks who are visually impaired. So you're feeling this need because nobody else is out there doing it, and you saw that there was a need for it. And people probably weren't doing it because they thought it was hard. I mean, if you were to imagine taking a class, it's hard enough to get through a workout anyway. I mean, if you were to imagine to put on a blindfold and then having to figure out how do you follow instructions, how do you stay safe to not bump into the person next to you. So talk to us a little bit about the misconceptions that people have on maybe just the ability for folks who are visually impaired to participate in these kinds of activities and how that has impacted their ability to find the kind of programming that you've created.
Very good question, and I'm more than happy to answer. For the misconception is that because anyone with a disability, that they are not able to do the things that we do daily, right? And that's just not the case, and especially with the blind and visually impaired, because yes, they may not be able to see what you're doing. They just need things tailored to their needs. But there is nothing that they cannot do that you and I do, as long as it again is tailored to them. So what we do is it's really critical that our instruction, or my instruction, is really clear. And I'll say this in the layman's terms. I speak in a terminology that will make sense to the blind and the visually impaired. And so that's really all it is. It's just like anything. It's like doing high impact and low impact exercise, right? Everybody can't go into a gym and just jump up, right? Or go into a class and just jump up. So you have to have modifications. It's exactly the same thing for the blind and visually impaired. The modification is more so surrounded around the actual verbal instruction. Another thing that's a blessing for us at Angel Eyes is that we partner with the Lions Club International. They come and volunteer in our classes as guides. So what they do is just make sure that it's a safe environment. So when we are moving around, they might act as guides in the class. They've been trained on proper form. So while they're really in essence helping out with that as well. But you could do it at home also. The instruction is clear enough that someone that isn't able to come out, they could do it right from their home, and we do that as well.
So I just have a follow-up question now, because now I'm just into it. So some folks who may have been visually impaired or blind their whole lives, so you can't just say, give me 10 jumping jacks, because they don't.
Correct.
If you've never seen one, you don't know what that is. So you would have to break that down to say, raise your arms a certain way and, jump out and close your legs. So is that what you're talking about when you're saying how you have to describe things?
You're spot on. That's exactly what I mean. And to that point, I'm proud of you for even thinking in that direction because we take that for granted, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
We take for granted that, okay, climb a ladder. Everybody has climbed a ladder. Or, wave your arm like a tree. Not everyone has seen a tree or felt a tree, So you're absolutely accurate in your thought process in that it's really important that you don't take any movement for granted. And I could give you an example, but you don't take any movement for granted because some of them have not seen before. Many of them have not seen before. So they want to know what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And those who have seen it and maybe went, kind of lost their vision along the way or maybe in adulthood, probably haven't exercised in a long time. So they may have seen a jumping jack, but not have done one in decades. Literally, in some cases, decades.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. That is 1,000% correct. And so over the years, I've just learned how, and I'm still learning, to be very honest, like speaking another language. I'm still learning as we do this.
Yeah. Wow. So, Dawn, we've got about 2.5 minutes or so before we got to take a break, but we want to make sure that we talk more about after the break, some of the people that Angel Eyes has served and, kind of tell us a success story. But then you also have some really unique partners that have come along. You mentioned the Lions, and maybe there are a couple others that we might want to talk about. But real quickly in the last couple of minutes, because I think, for a founder, and we have quite a few founders on our show, we always like to talk about their expertise in the field. So you've got tons of expertise in fitness and nutrition, and which makes you even more qualified, to kind of stand this organization up. So in the last minute and a half or so, kind of quickly, just kind of run down where your background is and how you came to sort of get in the fitness world.
Oh, sure. So my fitness started back in my elementary school days, all the way up through high school with track, sports, and I was really more like a cheerleader, track runner, that kind of thing. Weightlifting, those are things I've always done, and then moved into after I left high school, I went to the Marine Corps, and of course that's a very physical branch of the service. So I've always enjoyed fitness. I was married to a bodybuilder, so it's always been a part of my life throughout my life, and just like everybody else, I've fallen off like others, and then really found my love for fitness in more of a professional aspect with Zumba, believe it or not. And so my very first professional certification was through Zumba. And again, from there, I just continued to go on and on and on, and personal training as far as the fitness aspect goes of it. And it's just my passion. I was meant to do this, right? It just feels right. And it's fun.
Yeah. Well, we all know. I mean, we've, of course, I know more so than Dawn actually employs me part time. Anyway, I might as well say she's kind of like my boss and my friend, and so anyway, there's lots of connections there. But anyway, she does. This is audience. This is very much someone who has not only a passion for Angel Eyes, but also a passion for fitness, which is why you can see the passion behind what she is doing to help the mission. So, Dawn, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and I definitely want you to share a story or two about some of the folks that Angel Eyes has helped. And then we want to make sure we give our audience information about how they can help and how they can get involved. So stick with us. You're listening to The Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @GoodWorkShow.
Audience, welcome back to The Good Work Show. We are excited to be chatting with a really good friend of The Good Work Show and a personal friend of mine, Miss Dawn Wells, who is the founder and executive director for Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition, an organization that is helping the blind and visually impaired with their fitness and nutrition, offering a host of fitness classes, everything from yoga to boxing to Zumba, belly dancing, everything in between, but then also offering some personal personalized, even personal training, but also personalized fitness and nutrition programs, because that really is where it's all about. And doing it all for people who may not have the sight that we all have, and sometimes we kind of take for granted. So, Dawn, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm glad to be back.
Absolutely. So we laid the groundwork, and we talked a lot about what Angel Eyes is, what Angel Eyes does, who's helping. We talked about how the Lions Club International kind of helps and acts as guides, and how you fell into founding this organization. But let's talk about when and where, because so everybody's thought about it, and you've been to like a Zumba class or something. You've got to have a lot of space, but then you think about it, and you're adding maybe twice as many people, because you may have one guide per person who is working out. So then you've got an additional space that you need. But tell us when and where. How do the classes work? Because there's a unique concept to what Angel Eyes is doing. Not only how they're offering and who they're offering the classes to, but how they're being offered.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I appreciate this opportunity. So we have 2 physical locations. Brick and mortar is what I call them. One is in Covington and the other one is in East Point. But the way this works, the unique part about it is that we actually have satellite locations. And so what does that mean? We broadcast live utilizing Zoom technology to different locations. And what happens is each location will have a instructor there, as well as volunteers to work, mainly the Lions Club members. Type in through video conferencing. Also, through that same media, we're able to allow folks to type in from home. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this. Like I said, the blind and visually impaired are able to do anything that we can do, and so Zoom is a very familiar web conferencing tool that is being utilized in the blind community. And what happens with that is I can see them, and the guys can see me, but I'm also able to correct instructions and be in multiple places at one time. So that's the really, really the most unique aspect to how we offer these classes.
That's great. And you see a lot of these, types of virtual training, like with the Peloton commercials, and the people are out there doing this stuff, and they're working in groups. And I would imagine, too, that offers folks a community that they may not have had access to. So folks, they might be isolated, or they, maybe the people that they know don't go work out. So now they've got an online community that they can participate in.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly correct. And also the classes are able to be watched on demand at the same time, because they're recorded. So yes, all of that is exactly the point, is to get them more active in community.
That's great. And I would imagine, too, if folks have issues with transportation, that's also another opportunity for them to overcome that obstacle to getting healthy.
Well, too, and now that you've actually mentioned that, Elaine, is it okay for me to segue into that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right on ahead. Trinice teed you up. So
you teed me right on up for the next thing that's super exciting and about our partners. We actually just have been blessed with a long-term partnership with Uber. And so Uber has actually given us complimentary rides nationwide for our blind and visually impaired clients, so that they're able to get to the classes at the different settlement locations. So where they used to have to call like a transit company to come in and pick them up and carry them around town, pick up other people, then be dropped down. Now Uber, and they're all familiar with Uber. And those that aren't familiar, we can actually book for them, can pick them up from their homes, take them to the class, and take them right back. So that's super exciting for us. We literally just got that partnership.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really big, but monumental, because Dawn, share with the audience too the passion that so many people had because you were offering the classes, but they just couldn't get there. And it was taking them in some cases like 2 or 3 hours to get there, right?
Yes, that's exactly, yes, because they really enjoy the classes. They see the benefits of what they're getting from the classes. And there's nothing else offered that's tailored specifically for them. They will literally take a 2 or 3 hour ride just to get to a class and then turn around and have to do another 2 or 3 hours to get back home.
Yeah. Wow.
That's dedication because, sometimes it's hard to get in your own car and drive 10 minutes to the gym. So people who are, people who are saying, I'm going to get on a bus or whatever for 3 hours to get to the gym, that is commendable. So kudos to you guys and to Uber for helping make that easier for people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is huge. Thank you so much.
So tell us about some of the people who have come to class, because over the years, I'm sure you've gotten to know a few of them, but tell us a story about an individual or two who has come and taken some of Angel Eyes Fitness classes.
Absolutely. We are right. The blind community is a very small community. The population only makes up there's only 8 million in the world, in the country. So it is a very small community, and you do get to know everyone. But from the classes, we have been able to have folks gain strength, folks that couldn't lift their arms, and I mean literally just lift their arms above their heads. They're able to do that now. Through our nutritional counseling, they've actually started doing fitness and nutrition challenges. And it's not just about, eating healthy, but a lot of them are not able to afford, fresh everything. So it's teaching them how to eat their healthiest with what's within their means. But we have had people that have been able to come off of their high blood pressure medication. And so, yes, they definitely have been able to reap the benefits of that. And on a sad note, we've had a situation where someone was really not healthy, and she realized how the importance. She was one of those ride on the bus for 3 hours to class, but unfortunately she started her journey a little bit too late, and she didn't make it. So she transitioned. So it's so critical, you guys. This program is so important and so needed.
Yeah, absolutely. So we should talk about how does all of this happen, Dawn? We've got probably 3 minutes left. I mean, obviously, you need space, you need the technology, there's equipment that is needed. How does all of this get funded? Where does all of this come from?
Right now, God. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's true.
That's a start.
Angel.
Yeah.
We are self-funded, and we have been blessed with a few grants from a few of the blind associations and organizations here in Georgia. But we want to take this thing nationwide, and it takes resources.
Yeah.
So as of the moment, it's just through private donations, our board of directors, participation, obviously, and then myself and that's it. And we also do have a partnership with Silver Sneakers, where a lot of the people in the blind community, whether they're seniors or not, have Silver Sneakers. And so through that partnership, we're able to be paid a small amount, but every bit counts towards each person that attends the class that has it.
So, Dawn,
that's how we've been doing it.
Well, tell us then, where can people find out more information? So where should they go to find out about connecting with your classes, how they can, if you have volunteer opportunities, if people want to support you financially, where should they go to find out that information?
Perfect question. www, it always starts with that, Angel Eyes with an S, Fitness fitnessandnutrition.com.
Cool.
All right. Super easy. Yes. Everybody check out the website. You might see a familiar face on there. I actually happen to be, so I should just be very clear. I do serve on the board of directors for Angel Eyes. So it is an organization near and dear to my heart, but really good opportunities to support my sister in fitness and in life, Dawn Wells, in her quest to make sure that everybody is fit and has good nutrition. But definitely Angel Eyes, fitnessandnutrition.com. Make sure you go on the website, learn a little bit more. And if you are so moved, we would love for you to support the organization with your donations and help out. It is a need that is definitely required in our community to help keep these folks fit and living their best lives. So thank you so much, Dawn, for coming on the show today. We really appreciate you and wish the best for Angel Eyes. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tremaine.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing you in a classroom today.
You know, Dawn,
I'm going to drag her to class.
So far.
That's okay. We can Zoom you in.
We can Zoom. Yeah.
We can Zoom you in.
Well, there we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, Dawn.
You guys have a great day.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
You're listening to The Good Work Show.
To learn more about the show and how your company can tell their story, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @GoodWorkShow.
Audience, welcome back to The Good Work Show. We are excited to be chatting with Michael Shum, who is the president-elect for the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals Group. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So we should really start off by talking about the Urban League just in general. So tell our audience about Urban League of Greater Atlanta and what the organization does.
So the Urban League of Greater Atlanta is a nonprofit organization. What we do is we meet people where they are and help them to get to, we'll say, if you're looking for a change in career or you're looking to become an entrepreneur, we have Entrepreneurship Center. If you are, let's say you have a child that you want to help progress to college, we have our Project Ready program, and we also have a bunch of other, I guess you call it, resources out there to make sure that the residents or the people here in Atlanta get what they need in order to progress financially, housing, jobs, and education.
Cool. So those are all big things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if we could figure out how to solve the housing crisis, the education crisis, and what was the other one? Financial? Yeah. That was it.
Financial, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean,
if we could solve those problems, the world would be a better place. So talk to us a little bit about... Right, because I usually am. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
You're fine. But talk to us a little bit about some of the stuff that, just maybe a couple of specific kind of projects that the young professional group of National Urban League here in Atlanta is doing to try to help some of those issues along.
So one of the things that we do, and you said nationally, correct?
Yeah, so nationally, but then how does that translate here in Atlanta? So you could give us both parts of it.
So nationally, what they do is they kind of set a directive on certain important topics. One of those topics is National Day of Service. And what that does is, what their directive is, make sure that in your local area you are exposing youth, which could be anywhere from elementary school to high school, to the to STEAM now, right? Used to be STEM, now it's STEAM. So what we've done in Atlanta chapter is we have held different events throughout the year. More so, let's say for last year, and even 2 years ago, we had a event at South Atlanta High School where we exposed a lot of the high school students to things such as how to make ice cream. Which,
I remember that.
That's the whole, right. That's the
you
whole
went to it?
I did.
To it.
Oh, was it good?
I didn't make the ice cream, but I remember that other
the ice
people
cream was
had
great.
it. I know. I remember.
Well, how come I didn't get invited?
Sorry, next time.
Yeah.
And then we also, so that was part of it. This past year, we actually held a couple of events at the same time. One of them was reading to elementary students, and then the other one was actually holding a coding class, which our IT chair, Corey Jones, really good in the technology aspect, held a coding course. And then, like I said, with the reading part, because that's part of a little bit part of STEAM. Deborah Asio, our community service chair, we had about maybe 10 to 12 volunteers go out and read to elementary school students.
Wow,
that's cool,
fantastic. So you're chair-elect of the Young Professionals for the Urban League of Greater Atlanta. So when you say young professionals, who is involved in that? So how young do you have to be? Like, is there a cutoff age? I mean, obviously you want people who are, kind of coming up in their career. But for folks who are really listening and they really want to join in there, say, okay, well, great. Sounds like something I would want to plug into, especially with the issues that you're trying to tackle in the Atlanta region. Tell us about who your target is for involving in this group.
So we talk about young professionals. The age group really starts in college. So if you're attending a college university here in Atlanta, we'll say starting at age 18, you are eligible to become a member of our organization. And in all honesty, you'll end up paying a different rate because you're in college. Because we know that college students don't have a lot of money, but they still want to get involved. That's a good way to do that. The cutoff age is 40, but I can honestly say we have some members who are over the age of 40. They're still considered young at heart. So, they still want to be a part of our organization. They still want to give back, and they still want to help mentor a lot of the, like you said, up and coming young professionals here by providing, their advice on how they got to where they are.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, Elaine, you can't see us, Mike, because obviously you're not here. But Elaine and I are sitting here with our beautiful awards that we got from the Urban League Young Professionals not that long ago. So it's like one of all those full disclosure things. We didn't have you on just because you gave us an award, but it helped. I'm just saying it helps. Anybody else out there who wants to we say that we'll have anybody on, but if you
have
want
a collection, a trophy case right here.
Trophy case. But it was a part of a larger annual recognition that the organization puts forward for dream catchers. And I would love to have you talk a little bit about that and share what that is. And really a lot of the fundraising activities that happen throughout the year all culminates around that particular event. So share a little bit with us, with our audience in the last couple of minutes that we have here about dream catchers, what it is, and then how you go about recognizing the students and the community advocates that you recognize that evening.
So Dreamcatchers is, like you said, this is our biggest fundraising event of the year. The purpose of Dreamcatchers is to highlight graduating students that are in the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Project Ready program, and also to make sure that we essentially give props to those organizations that are doing great work like we are in the local community. So, you said that a lot of the activities that we have throughout the year, it culminates up to Dreamcatchers. A lot of the events that we have, from our holiday soiree to our mixers to our general body meetings, a lot of those proceeds from those events they go towards helping us be able to not only put on a great event, but make sure that those students that are going to college from the Project Ready program, that they are getting scholarship dollars in order to help pay offset some of the expenses that they're going to incur their first year, whether it be with tuition, books, room and board, and even meals. To be honest with you, so we want to make sure that they get off to the right foot when they go to college. So they're not stressing about how I'm going to they're not stressing about figuring out how they're going to pay for their school and how they're going to buy their books and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you awarded how many students grants and scholarships this year?
So this year and every year it's grown leaps and bounds. This year we awarded 13 students with a scholarship of about $1,300 each. From my understanding, this is, like I said, this is the largest number of students that are matriculating to college, which is great. And that speaks volumes because that means that the Urban League is doing what they're supposed to be doing to make sure that the up and coming youth that are going to be our future leaders, not only here in Atlanta and Georgia, but also nationwide, are getting the resources that they need to be successful in life.
Yeah, cool, absolutely.
That's great.
Yes, and thank you so much for honoring the Good Work Show. We appreciate it. We had the opportunity to take the stage with some really influential young professionals across Atlanta, including a couple who have been guests on the Good Work Show.
Yeah,
before.
So it was kind of like a reunion for us. We got to see quite a few folks who've joined us on the show in the past. So we want to say thank you for recognizing our work that we do. This is the first award that the show's won.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So it's the first one. We were the community advocates. So thank you for that recognition. We greatly appreciate it and wanted to make sure that we return the favor, not that it was a favor, to give you an opportunity to talk about the work that the National Urban League Young Professionals are doing here in Atlanta. So share with our audience, if anybody's listening and they're saying, hey, I haven't quite reached that 40 milestone yet and I'm interested, I want to support, want to help out, or maybe I'm over 40 and I just look younger, so we'll hope nobody asks too many questions. Where can they go to find out more information about how they can support the organization or join or anything else?
So the best way to do it is to go to our website, which is www.ulga-yp.org. You'll see all of our different events that we have throughout the upcoming and even prior events. You'll be able to also donate to the organization, which this year we're really going to be hammering home the monthly give program, where you can give a monthly amount. Doesn't matter how much it is. It could be $1, it could be $5, it could be $100. As long as you're consistently giving, that speaks volumes as it pertains to philanthropy. When you think about how young professionals want to get involved with the organization or even giving back to the community. Now, if you're looking to join, we have our join page on the website for students that are in college, undergrad, to be more specific. It's $35 per year. And for those that are have matriculated out of college or in their professional careers, it is $85 per year, which in all honesty, that's really not that, it's not a lot. Yeah. When you compare what we charge on a yearly basis to a lot of the other organizations around the city, and it's tax deductible. So, you're giving back to the organization and you get a write-off on your taxes at the end of the year as well. So, it's a win-win for everybody in my opinion.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much to the Urban League of Greater Atlanta. You're listening to The Good Work Show.